सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात्। Yesterday we met a very interesting personality in Vritrasura. On one side he was very tamasic and rajasic, and his only motive was to kill Indra, because that was what he was invoked by his father Tvashta. And while in the battle they both seemed, remember where the battle was? Narmada Nadi. So on the shores, on the banks of Narmada Nadi, and the final round, which went on for years, was between Indra and Vritrasura. He had a very clear-cut picture about the entire Vedantic principle. He said, I have been invoked by my father only to kill you, so I am doing my swadharma. There is no other purpose for my life, only to take care of you, to end you. He would also challenge in between, if you are man enough, try beating me, try killing me. Because that is what you are also expected as a responsible Indra, to take care of asuras like me. So you do your job, I will do my job. You are a little sattvic than what I am more of tamasic and rajasic kind. So use your sattvic shakti to hit me. Now you are blessed with the Vajra, and he would give the entire gamut of Vedanta. To his surprise, Indra felt like bowing down to this person that he was fighting with, because of his clarity and knowledge that he was carrying. Now Parikshit, as we were all going through the story, was a little concerned. How come if he had such grasp, such clarity and such depth in the Vedantic philosophy, how did he end up being an asura? There must be some reason somewhere. I am really intrigued by this Vritrasura. Can you shine some more light on Vritrasura's life? Thus being asked, in the 14th chapter, Shuka Maharaj starts. He says, Shrunushva vidvahito rajan itihasamimam yatha shrutam dvaipayana mukhat naradad devaladapi. So I have heard this story from many people. So listen to this part of history which had happened, which I have heard from Dvaipayana. Dvaipayana Vyasa. Dvaipayana Vyasa, because he was born in a Dvipa. In fact, Vyas Maharaj's complete name is Sri Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. So I normally call him as SKD Vyas. Sri Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Sri Krishna, because he was also, in Mahabharata there are three Krishna, two Pullinga and one Strilinga. One was Vyasji and Lord himself, and the third one was Draupadi's name. Her name was also Krishna with a Dirgha, Akaranta Strilingi. So when he says Dvaipayana, it was his father who told him about this story. He had heard this story from Narada himself and Devaladapi. Devala, a great rishi, that he had heard this story from. Asid Raja Sarvabhaumaha Shuraseneshu Vai Nrupaha Chitraketuriti Khyataha Yasyasit Kamadhungmahi. Long, long ago, that's how the Chandamama story started. Long, long ago, in a great city, a kingdom called Shurasena, there lived a Raja. His name was Chitraketu. I feel like I'm in kindergarten or first grade. Long, long ago, so long ago that it is a history now. The legend of Chitraketu. Now, how was the Chitraketu? He had conquered the entire planet. He was the ruler of this entire planet. And he had Tasya Bharya Sahasranam Sahasrani Dasha Abhavan. Sahasrani Sahasranam Dasha Abhavan. He had 1 crore wives. Yes. In spite of having that many wives, no, I am not saying he was happy. It would be difficult, man. 1 crore of them. 1 crore is how many million? 10 million wives. Please believe it or not. Or the world Guinness Book record, 1 crore wives, 10 million wives. Another record, none of these 10 million had santana, children. He had everything with him. Rupa, Audarya, Vayo, Janma, Vidya, Ishvarya, Shriya, Divihi. He had Rupa. He was good looking. He was Audarya. Audarya, he was very kind. Yuva Api, he was young, able, and he was born of a great lineage. He had everything that anybody could imagine. He had huge palaces for each queen. 10 million palaces Probably to take a jog around these 10 million houses would be a marathon. If they were all within 25-24 miles radius, then it would be a marathon. But he was always, worried that, I don't have a son. It so happened that one day, going through the different lokas, traveling through different lokas, not traveling from India to America or America to England, traveling from one loka to the other. So, moving between the lokas, Rishi Angira found this beautiful kingdom of this Chitraketu. He felt as though he was invited. That's how beautiful that city was. He entered. As soon as he saw, Chitraketu saw this Angira, great rishi, coming down. So what did he do? Tam pujayitva vidhivat. So he welcomed, gave him his asana, meaning a higher altar on which the Raja sits. That was given to the Angira rishi. Vidhivat pujayitva. He did the, he did the pada puja. He cleaned his feet and then did all the arghya, achamana and other things. Maharshihi tam upasinam prashrayavantam shritau pratipujya maharaja. Having been pleased by the welcome that was given by Chitraketu, as grand was his city, that grand was his welcome. He was very pleased. So Angira, the great rishi, started speaking with satisfied tone. He was too touched by this warm welcome. He said, Apite namayam swasti prakriti nam tathatmanaha. Hey Raja, is everything okay in your kingdom? And this was the way that the rishis would talk to the kings normally. When they say that, your guru, mantri, rashtra, the kingdom, then the kingdom's treasury, and then the sena and the enemies and the friends and everybody, are you taking care of all of these aspects? I am sure you are taking care. So there is two things. One, I am seeing it, so I am appreciating it. Or, these are the things that the kings normally should do, and this is my message to you also, that you should take care of them. But it seems like, though you are well established, there is something disturbing you or bothering you. Are your queens happy? Are your mantris, are your ministers happy? Are your sevaks, servants, are they happy? Are the other vyapari and other things, nagarika, the people who live in your kingdom, all the mandaleshwara, those who are different provinces under this kingdom, are they happy with you? Are your children under your control? So that which that chord was struck. The Samrat, this great emperor, अब आप पूछ ही रहे हैं तो, if you are asking, then I might as well say. Because people like you, when they come and unasked, they just enter, they know the reason. There is a reason why they have come. Bhagavan kim na viditam. What is it that you people do not know? And I exactly think you know the reason why you have come. And let me put it forward very straight. Not necessary that I am bothered with different things. Everything in my kingdom and every aspect of it that you have asked is more than happy. But even Angira was expecting a but there. So they said, yes, what? I am just worried on one aspect that my Pitruloka, that I am offering my Shraddha, there would be no one to give Shraddha to me when I am gone. This was like hint, hint. He didn't directly say that, I want a son. He said hint, hint. Then Rishi looked at him and said, let us do a Putra Kameshti. So he invoked the Agni Deva and did the Putra Kameshti. And his senior most queen, the first queen, you remember how many he had? It was not like Dasharatha, that he had 3 queens and the pot of payasa that was given, it was shared among 3. It would be too difficult to share among 10 million. So he said, pick one. So the oldest one of them was brought in. Her name was Krutadyuti. Now to that Krutadyuti, he gave the Yajna Prasada, which was the result of the Yajna performed. Atha Nrupatim Rajan Bhavitaikaha Eva Atmajaha Harshashoka Pradastubhyam Iti Brahmasuto Yayau. Said, have this, and in due course of time you will get a beautiful son, who will be the cause of happiness and misery in your life. ये क्या देना हुआ? Now, as he had asked hint, hint, Angira Rishi also gave with a hint, hint. Now that kid was born. Somehow by purpose or something, they have not mentioned the kid's name in the entire scripture. So he grew up and both Krutadyuti and Chitraketu's entire attention was only on this kid. As soon as the kid was born, the Raja received the information. He took the Avabhrata Snana, he took a shower, came down, and with both hands, with complete heart, he gave all the Brahmana, all the Kshatriya, all the people that he gave them gifts, because he was happy. The king was happy. So he gave various kinds of gifts. For some people he gave villages as gift. For some people he gave gold, diamonds and all. One of those things, wish I were there kind of. So he gave everything. And then he got so much entwined with this son's life that he would be sleeping with that kid, waking up with that kid, taking that kid for the Gurukula, then teaching the kid, and the kid grew to a Balaka Avastha. He was around 6-7 years old. He was actually in a soup that, of 10 million wives, he picks one and has a child. He is in soup. As his whole attention, the entire attention was with Krutadyuti and her son, the other queens, 10 million minus 1. Instead of saying 999999999, I could say 10 million minus 1. The other number of wives, they started feeling neglected, left out. What did they do? They said, Dasinam konu santapaha swaminah paricharyaya. We are like dasis in this palace. Because nobody pays attention, nobody wants to talk to us, nobody cares for us anymore, nobody loves us anymore. The same TLC factor. And they became jealous and they were burning from inside that they were neglected. All because they were not having a progeny, they were not having a child. And all the attention was going to the only wife, which is Krutadyuti. Tada akarnyam, they all grouped together. Man, even if they grouped together, imagine 10 million people almost, minus 1. The palace should have been that huge. I don't know how they communicated. Did they have PA system? Listen all queens. Everybody gathered up. I'm sure the palace was built in such a way that it was the acoustics were good enough that without a PA system they could hear each other. There are such constructions when you go in, when you travel around in India. There are such wonderful constructions. At least I have seen some of huge structures whose shadow does not fall on the earth. Any time of the day, any time of the season, it does not fall. One such is the Tanjore temple, a huge Brihadishwaralaya, 180 feet. And its shadow does not fall on the earth. That's how it is constructed. And there is no shadow. There is a shadow, but it is so beautifully constructed that the shadow falls on the structure itself. It does not fall on the earth. Any time of the season, any time of the year. Then there is Swami Vidyaranya. He was the one who started the Vijayanagara kingdom, the empire of Krishna Devaraya. And the original ones were the Harihara and Bukka, and to them he was an architect and a philosopher, guide and everything. So one temple that he has built, which is somewhere in the borders in Karnataka, that the temple has 12 pillars or 13 pillars, and the sun shines through each, 2 pillars for one Rutu. In between the seasons it shifts and it falls directly onto the sanctum sanctorum. Architectural genius. And you can always, coming from Hyderabad, right? So the Golconda Fort, miles away, you talk in one fort, one area, the other person on the palace dome, he can hear clearly what you speak here. Such a beautiful thing that you talk here, they can hear without an earpiece, without eavesdropping. So maybe they had that system, they all grouped together, and then they said, enough of this neglect, enough of living a second-hand life. It's all because of that kid that we don't get the attention. They got so jealous, because on the moment you become very disturbed, your buddhi starts thinking always in the wrong direction. And they had lost the logic. So what did they do? They poisoned the young child. That particular day, that night when he was poisoned, he was sleeping. In the morning, Kritadyuti was waiting for the kid to wake up. She saw that he was still sleeping. She didn't want to disturb. After a couple of hours, he came back and he was still sleeping. So she asked the servant maid, wake him up. It is high time that he wakes up and starts getting into his routine. And she comes back. It is said here, Bhrushat Brushaaturam Swaram, typical in the chhati peet karu na. So she started crying out, said, "Hi, kya ho gaya?" So the Rani and the Raja and everybody reached in. They found this kid dead. And now starts the misery part. The happy part was done. And now, as usual, everybody, when they are in trouble, who is it that we blame on? There's only one person whom we blame on very effectively is God. What kind of Srishti are you taking care of, O Lord? Don't you have a balance and an equation as to who lives and who dies? Old people still live and the younger ones still keep dying. What kind of rules and regulations do you have? Maybe you talk about this prarabdha and other things, but if there is no such balance, your creation is going to dogs. बड़ा लंबा चौड़ा भाषण दे दिया महाराजा ने. For a long time he spoke. As they were vilapanti, Vilapanti, he was crying and crying over that body of that boy that he so dearly loved. Seeing that these people were crying, again, Devarshi Narada and Angira were going transgalaxial travel. Different lokas they were traveling. So what happened? Tayoho vilapitoho sarve dampatyos tadanuvrataha rurudusma nara naryaha. This is in the 60th shloka. So when they saw that that beautiful kingdom was now filled with people who were crying and crying and crying, said, what could have happened? As if they did not know. So both this Narada and Maharshi Angira, they come down to this kingdom. So what happened? This is in the 15th chapter now. So they look at Chitraketu. They are feeling really bad that he is crying. Koyam syat tava rajendra bhavan yamanushochati tvam chasya katamasrushtau puredani matah param. Hey Rajendra, why is it that you are crying? You were craving for having a son and that desire is fulfilled. Now that kid had only that much of prarabdha to stay with you. People stay as per the requirement, whatever is the prarabdha. When you go to Disney World, Disneyland, how long do you stay there? It is not the timeline that stops us. It is the card line that stops us. Now, how much we can swipe, how much we can really spend. When that maxes out, we get out of that place. Right? Most of us keep it as a timeline, but more than timeline, it is the money line that matters. This is what is my expenditure, it is going to go beyond that budget, I think we can get back. Similarly, we are in this world according to our prarabdha. How much ever is that prarabdha, that long alone we stay. There was once a satsang going on, and probably this person who was new to satsang environment was dragged in by a friend and got up and made a silent exit, or was trying to make a silent exit. And the other person said, Swamiji se rokiye. He should actually sit down and listen to you. I said, मेरा उसे बोर करना केवल इतना ही प्रारब्ध लिखा था. The moment I said that, I said, no, actually I am not bored. And he sat down. I said, look, the prarabdha continues. We are here as long as our prarabdha is. If the prarabdha does not stipulate, we cannot linger around. They said his prarabdha is done. When his prarabdha is done, he has to go back. And this Raja, I don't think he was in a real mood to listen to this kind of Shastrartha. And Narada has had previous such experiences, wherein once he goes and asks, O Lord, what is the real effect of the Namasmarana? He said, do you want to see the real effect of Namasmarana? There is this king. He is giving birth, he has gotten a child, just born yesterday. Go see that child. So he goes to that kingdom, the king receives that and feels really blessed that Naraji has come in, and Narada is taken to that room where the kid is, and the kid is shown for blessings, and Naraji says, Narayana, Narayana. What happened? The kid died. Maharaj ji was like, kya hua ye? He ran back. Said, you just sent me and that I said Narayana and the kid died. I said, okay, let's do second experiment. In this Goshala, the cows are there. In this Goshala, you will find that a calf is born. It is yet to be born. Go, see that and come back. So as soon as he goes there, steps in, he finds that calf being born, and the moment he sees the calf being born, he says out of practice, Narayana, Narayana. The calf, after landing down, dies. Now he is totally confused. Ye kya ho raha hai? I am saying Narayana and people are dying. I am going there and people are dying. So Narayanji, Bhagavan Narayana says to Naradji, they had probably few lives more, but because of your satsangatya and your namocharana prabhava, they attained mukti the moment they saw you. All their prarabdha was washed out. So Naradji has had such track record. And probably Chitraketu knows the track record. So if at all we have to go through this misery, why give us that kid at all? Sangira said, did I say that I will give? You asked for it. You gave me a hint. That's why we got through that process. No, Angira did not say that. He said, as you have said that the kid or having that kid was your prarabdha, the kid being with you was also the prarabdha of the kid. Some parents, they come and say, Pata nahi kahan se paida ho gaya Swami ji. I said, why are you talking to me? You should know better. I tell you, such a prarabdha, this generation of kids. I said, as you think that they are your prarabdha, for them, you are equally the prarabdha. That kid was born in that kind of environment to this kind of parents only because that kid can grow only in that environment. We normally proclaim that, we are raising the child, we are pulling the child. Every time when the parent says, pal pos ke bada kiya. I have a very caricature mind. So I am imagining, every day you keep pulling that child, bada kiya. They are there because of their prarabdha. But the tussle or the rupture or the thing start wherein our desires are tried to be enlivened through that next generation of prarabdha. As I have my folders, they have also been born with their folders. Let them unfold themselves. That is what we can do as parents. So as long as that kid was with you, you have provided the best that a parent could provide for that jiva. Now when these two Maharshis were talking, there's one thing which is not mentioned in the beginning. It appears from the king's question. Who are you both? You are disguised as common men, but the wisdom that you are talking is amazing. Who exactly are you both? So Naradji and Angira Rishi come out of the disguise. I said, remember, I was the one who gave you the kid in first place. Maharshi Angira and Devarashi Narada, both looking at that great Chitraketu, said, enough of this pain. Now if you have to walk out of this pain, there is only one thing. Instead of looking at it as having a kid who can do your Shraddha when you are dead and then you go to the Swarga Loka and then the Pitru Loka, why not think about liberating yourself from this entire chakra? And Naraji himself says, see, Naraji is if he were in the worldly side, he would have made a great CEO. He knew how to sell his concept. To anybody, he would sell his concept. That was his great deal. They said, why are you still stuck with the same thing? You have seen the happy side of it, you have seen the sorrow side of it. That is not where you are supposed to be. That is what you have to transcend and go beyond. He says, I will introduce you to a mantra by chanting which in 7 days you get the darshana of Bhagavan Sankarshana. Having his darshana, even Rudra, Vasu and all these people were blessed. Let me initiate you into that mantra. Readily enough, Chitraketu agreed. Now Chitraketu, as soon as he agreed, the relatives and the people around took that body and did the kriya. Just before they were going to the Antima Kriya, Naraji says, there's one thing that I can do with all my yoga shakti is invoke that jiva wherever he has gone back. Do you want me to do that? Chitraketu said, at least for my satisfaction, bring my child back once. This is something amazing. Huh? This starts in the 16th chapter. Narada Uvacha. Jivatman Pashya Bhadrante Mataram Pitaram Chate. These are your parents, mother and father. The jiva was called, there was a tracking number. So Narada tracked that jiva and called, placed in a call. What do you call that? Collect call. So placed in a call to that jiva and asked him to shift from whichever loka that jiva was to that present moment. So the jiva came. And the moment he saw this, Naraji and Angira Rishi were there, he did his pranam. And Naraji, looking at this jiva, said, here are your parents, mother and father. Look how badly they are missing you. They are in pain. They are about to take your body and to burn it. Get back into that body. Relive the life, chirayushaha, as long as you want. So this jiva looks at his parents and says, this is something very important to understand. The jiva uvacha, the jiva spoke. What did the jiva say? Kasmin janmanmayi mahyam pitaram mataro bhavan karmabhir bhramyamanasya devatiryang nuyonishu. He said, Naraji, you have to really help me here. Because in my past, I have had scores of millions of lives as Deva, as a Devata. Then as soon as that was done, again I came back as Manava. Then I became Pashu, Pakshi and other yonis that I was born. Which yoni, in which janma were they my parents? Can you please tell me? And now the jiva starts the logic. Says, like if you have gone to a huge, say, museum. Have you ever been to those art museums where they have modern painting? First of all, it doesn't make any sense. The entire wall there will be one red dot. Now you have to figure what it is. Now walls after walls, you go through the huge museum collection of these. After a while, they all look the same. That reminds me, I was coming out of somebody's apartment and there were these African Americans, huge. And I was looking at them like this. And they were really huge. So they looked at 4 or 5 of us coming out of the apartment complex. So they looked at us, man, you all look the same. I could keep quiet. I said, same here. You all look the same also. So after having gone through a huge museum of collection of these pieces, it feels the same. Like, you have gone through many pieces and almost everything looks like the same. Imagine millions and millions of lives of births that one jiva has taken, does not keep a track record of which parents or what time, who were the parents. As long as my prarabdha was there, I was their son, if you say so. I was their son and I was with them. Once the prarabdha is done, there is nothing going back, or there is nothing of a recollection as such. Because you are busy moving forward with the set of prarabdha for the next thing. You don't have time to think about, you don't have any kind of bondages. The bondage is as long as you are living, the attachment is as long as you are living in the body. The moment you quit the body, all the bondages, attachments are gone. Let it sink for a while. It continues and nothing continues. This I am talking from that jiva's perspective who has left the body in the normal way. I am not talking of preta, bhuta, pichacha, that kind of variety. The other ones which have normal course. I said, I don't have any memory recollection. And the jivatma is neither attached to a parent, nor a father, nor a mother, nor an environment. The jivatma keeps moving forward. And every life is also a part of the experience in totality. Like in a lifetime, we go through situations and say, this is a part of life. For the entirety of my goal towards realization, that was also an experience. Once that experience is done, I am done with that life. I don't even know, I don't even recognize who these parents are. Must have been good parents, that they still remember me. And we still carry, those who are left behind, we still carry the sweet memories to move forward. But the jiva is snapped out of it. Once it is snapped out of it, thank goodness that the jiva, when he goes to the next body, next yoni, wherever it is, does not remember the past life. पता क्या गड़बड़ हो जाएगा? If the jiva was born down the street in somebody else's house, who in the earlier life was like a baddha shatru, like an enemy, now born in that family, and then still remembers who was the wife, who was the children, who were the father, who were the mother. It is such a traumatic experience to go through that whole memory lane, whether cannot relate there, relate here. It is a good thing that we forget. But we are not forgiven for what we have done in the earlier lives. Though we forget, those things we still have to continue. This is what the jiva says. Having said, he said, let me take leave because my next part of the journey is still waiting. I was called in here on a very special account. Listening it directly from the jiva, who was their child. All the bhranti of this Chitraketu was gone. He immediately did the antim kriya of that child, of that body that was left out, and then he moved to Naradji. Naradji explained this whole process. Kalindyam vidhivat snatva, on the shores of Yamunadi, Naradji took this Chitraketu. I think in Vrindavan there is one Narad Kund, right? Narad Kunji or Narad Kund, aise kuch hai. Somewhere over there. So he took him to that Yamuna Tira, and in that Yamuna Tira, after having purified, Brahmaputra, this is Brahmaputra, which is Naradji, started giving the mantropadesha. Om Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya Namas Sankarshanaya Cha. 18th shloka. Namo Vijnana Matraya Paramananda Murtaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Nivritta Dvaita Drishtaye Atmanandanubhutyaiva Nyastak Shaktyurmaye Namaha Hrishikeshaya Mahate Namaste Vishwamurtaye. Thus he invokes all this Sankarshana mantra and he says Om Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Mahanubhavaya Mahavibhuti Pataye Sakala Sattvat Parivrida Nikara Kara Kamala Kundala Lopala Lalita Charanara Vinda Yugala Parameshtinaha Te Namaha. To that Sankarshana Murti, who is Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi. That Lord Krishna, who is the Vasudeva, who is also known by the other names Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana, who is the Vijnana Matra. He is the pure essence of consciousness, pure essence of cognition, knowledge. Paramananda Murtaye. Now the one who is with such an essence, how is he in his real nature? Ananda Murtaye, throbbing with bliss. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. He is Atma Rama. Atma Rama does not chase around any other vastu for sukha. He is Atmanishtha. He is abiding in his own self, by whose blessings Nivrita Dvaita Drishtaye. All the Dvaita Bhava, by whose grace, is gone. What is so wrong with the Dvaita Bhava? Dvayat Bhayam Bhavati. Wherever there is otherness, feeling of otherness, fear creeps in. The moment fear creeps in, politics begin. It's a simple logic. People somehow miss this logic, and when they come to the mission, suddenly say, you know, Swamiji, such things happen even in the mission. Some kind of gossip, some kind of this, some kind of that. Even such things happen in a mission like Chinmaya mission. People coming into the mission, are they dropping down like angels? Okay, tell me, did you drop down just now? Where are your feathers? No, we are just common people coming in here. The moment there is an otherness, what is otherness? I and mine, you and yours. So what does this equation leave? This equation at a net result boils down to, I have to put an effort to procure and secure things as mine. So net result is, there are only two kinds of things in this world. That which is mine and that which is yet to be mine. It is not yours. It might be temporarily. It is yet to be mine. That is the Dvaita Bhava. In fact, when you look at in deep the Dvaita Bhava, there are some people who are scared of sleeping alone at home. Home alone. I'm scared. No, when you look at it deeply, you know you are the only one. Are you so self-scaring? Stop looking in the mirror. You know, every time you look into the mirror, dar lagta hai baba. I am such a scary face because I look at my own reflection and I feel scared. No. What is the fear there whenever I am alone? The fear is not about myself. The fear is there could be somebody other than me. That otherness creates fear. Isn't it? Always it is the otherness that creates the fear. If we have to remove that fear, we have to transcend the otherness. It is with His grace that we transcend the otherness. So such mantra when invoked and given to this great Chitraketu. Now this Chitraketu, very steadfast in his vrata, took the mantra diksha from Naradji, and then in 7 days, after having repeated this and done the anusthana, he had the darshan of Sankarshana Bhagavan. The moment he saw the Shri Vigraha of the Lord at the end of 7th day, Prahrishta Roman, like he was so thrilled. He was in such a blissful state. He was blissed out. Yeah, that could be the right word. He was blissed out. He was frozen. There was nothing that he could say, nothing that he could communicate. He was looking at that beautiful form of the Lord that was right in front of him, and his eyes was pouring down with tears, and he had horripilations all over, what you call the goosebumps. And then he was choking, Gadgadaya. It took a while for him to settle down. And as he was looking, Tataha Samadhaya Manaha, after having regained a little control, looking at that beautiful form of the Lord, he says, Hey Ajita, the one who is never won. Today looking at you, I feel Jita. I have won over. I have transcended all the limitations. Now to such a person who is the very core of my life, the very spark of my living, there is nothing that I have to ask, there is nothing that I have to seek for. Just your darshana is sufficient enough and nothing more to ask of. The only thing that I would ask is, may my devotion unto you be firm and firmly rooted only in you. May I be worshipping your holy feet every day. Now this Chitraketu was made he was the Vidyadhara now. He was now transcended and the God appointed him as the Vidyadhara. They are very good at music, fine arts, and Chitraketu was made their leader. They said, he wanted to serve the Lord. He said, okay, this is the service that you do. Now having been given this responsibility, this Chitraketu roamed about in the Himalayan ranges for several million years. Since he was now beyond the effects of the body and its aging, and he had become a Vidyadhara, he would keep traveling in the Akasha Marga, he would keep thinking about the Lord, meditating about the Lord. The moment he found a beautiful place, he would sit down, create a beautiful murti of the Lord and do the Aradhana. The moment we find a beautiful place, it is not for a picnic or a vacation. He immediately thought of the Lord and that this would be a right place to worship the Lord. In fact, the other Vidyadharas would come to him to learn of devotion unto the Lord. Even their wives and their children would come. So he had his own congregation, private practice setup. And he would be talking about the devotion of the Lord and how that beautiful murti that he saw. And slowly he took the responsibilities, the Chitraketu took the responsibilities of being their leader. And one day what happened? Remember where this story is starting from, right? Vritrasura died, but he had such a wisdom. So that's when Chitraketu, long ago, so long ago, that there was this king. Now this king was an angel kind, who could sing, and he was the leader of them. Now once he was going in his private jetter, vimanam agataha. So he was flying. Ekada sa vimanena Vishnu tattena bhasvata. He was going in his vimana. His name, vimana was Vishnu Datta. Vishnu Datta, blessed by the Lord. That was his airline's private jetter's name. Everybody has their Vahana's name, right? It was only after I came to US, I found that people name their cars also. I've seen, I'm still running short of words as to express what could it be that inspired them to name their car. My flying thunder. वो कौन है? My car. My little angel. It's my car's name. So they name their cars also. Even Vishnu Datta was the name of his vehicle, chariot or the Vimana. So as he was going, he moved into a plane where he could see Kailasha. So Kailasha, Vama Bhage Sthite Gauri, on his left side was sitting Gauri, Parvati Devi, and he was holding on to her. Like, you go into the Rama Mandir here, that Sita ji is sitting and then he is holding on to her. So even Lord Shiva was holding on to Parvati Devi, and there were many Siddhacharana, there were Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, and lots of rishis who were standing there, praising the Lord, and they are singing the glories of the Lord. Chitraketu, not understanding who they were, started laughing. You all Siddhacharana and all these Siddha Purusha sitting, can't you see that this man is not an ascetic at all? He still has his attachments towards his wife. Look how dearly he is holding on to her. Does not even have the Sabha Maryada that all of you are sitting, and he is still holding on to his wife. And he goes off on a tangent. It's totally on a different tangent level. Now Shivaji Maharaj is totally unperturbed. He is the last one to get disturbed by such things. He was sitting with a smile. And Parvati ji looked at him. अजी कुछ करते क्यों नहीं? वो आप ही को बोल रहा है, कुछ करते क्यों नहीं? Get up, do something. Shiva looked at her and said, sit down. Now whether it was Chitraketu's words that triggered Parvati Devi's anger, or the coolness of Lord Shiva in not reacting to Chitraketu, does not matter. But the end result was that Parvati Devi got angry at Chitraketu. And what did she say? She said, Are Dhurta, just because you have a Vimana of your own, leader of Siddhacharana, Vidyadharas, do you think you can come and criticize like that? Do you know whom you are talking about? It is Lord Shiva, of whom even Lord Vishnu is a devotee. And to such Shiva do you say such wrong things? The moment he heard that he was also a devotee of his Swami, Chitraketu felt really bad. Not understanding that it was Lord Shiva, I don't know in which world he was living in, not knowing Lord Shiva. But anyway, whichever world that he was living in, he was probably oblivious to the fact that Lord Shiva and Parvati lived in Kailasha. And his audacity that he goes to Kailasha and criticizes Lord Shiva. And Parvati Devi curses him, that may you fall down to an adho yoni. Having heard this from Parvati, Chitraketu uvacha. Chitraketu says, Pratigranhami te shapam. See, what was the effect that we saw in Vritrasura is not something which was new. He had this habit of taking everything at a philosophical order. I definitely must have done something that Rajoguna in me woke up and did something here, but I am glad at least I did it to you who are a devotee of the Lord. I don't mind getting cursed by the devotee of the Lord. Something good will happen, my bad will vanish. I am not saying this so that you can reduce my shapa. Whatever I have done, it is wrong, and I need to go through that prarabdha to purify myself. But just pray that whichever loka that I go, whatever yoni that I take, let me not forget the devotion unto the Lord. Parvati still was trembling in anger. See, Parvati, Uma Parvati, if you don't mess with her, she is the most docile, most welcoming mother. You mess with Prakriti, she is the one who becomes Durga, Kali, Bhavani, Chandika, Raudrani. Very raw energy that even Lord Shiva and requires a lot of energy to stop her. So looking at this devotion of Chitraketu, Chitraketu just complied to it, prostrated to them and left. He said, whatever be the prarabdha, whenever I have to be, let me be blessed that I will be a devotee of the Lord. Let this prarabdha be worked out. Chitraketu left in his vimana. Now Shiva turns to his home minister. Hey Priye, only a devotee of the Lord can be such equipoised, because he was a Vidyadhara, he was also a Deva. If he were not a devotee of the Lord, he could have turned back and cursed you. But he did not do that. He accepted his fault, and he did not even want you to reduce the shapa, but said, wherever be the shapa taking him, may that devotion unto that Lord be firm in his heart. I think we should bless him to take such yoni. Now Shukadev ji says, iti shrutva bhagavatah shivasya umabhibhashitam. Umaji looked at Lord Shiva and said, may what you are requesting happen so. Iti me bhuyat. Let it happen so for that Chitraketu. That is the reason that Chitraketu was, when invoked by Tvashta, it was Chitraketu who took birth as Vritrasura. And that is the reason he had such a strong devotion to the Lord and such deep clarity about Vedanta, that he was putting it into practice. And that's, he purified himself by being Vritrasura and reaching back unto that world. Again he became a Vidyadhara. He was reinstalled as Chitraketu once he was done. Now, the last segment of the story of this canto is a detail of Kashyapa. Kashyapa Mahamuni had two wives, Diti and Aditi. We have already seen that. Diti had mainly two sons. From Diti were born the Daityas. Diti had mainly two sons who were Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Imagine what pain must have that parents gone through to raise such children. Whenever you feel raising your children as a difficulty, compare yourself to Diti. Kuch bhi nahi. In fact, when I look at children growing up in this country, I said, and parents have a problem. I said, they are the most sweet kids that I have seen. If I were to be born, dikhata main. Most of the parents, when they come with a complaint, I ask them certain questions. Did they do this? Did they do this? No, they did not do this too. When I was of that age, I did all that. And they were like, holy cow. I think our kid is really safe. He is really a good kid. Purpose served. Now poor Diti had 2 children and lost both children. And she always carried that in her heart, that this Indra invoked Vishnu, brought him to his side, and this Vishnu was the one who killed both my sons, because Indra asked Vishnu to come. And she knew how to take care of her pati. She knew how to, because she knew Kashyapa in and out, exactly as what would please Kashyapa. So she went, found a beautiful environment, atmosphere, and then did lot of seva that would please Kashyapa. He was so pleased with Diti that he said, this is something that I learned from Puranas. Never promise. One thing, if you promise, you better fulfill it. But the complete understanding is, never understanding a situation, ever go beyond your limit to promise. This is what I heard from a businessman. The first word of wisdom, if you promise, even if you die, fulfill that promise. The second word of advice, never ever promise. Kashyapa said, looking at, pleased by her services, I feel like fulfilling one of your desires. Ask. Now she was working her way to that. Normally when such occasions come, most of the wives, they say, I'll take a rain check. Not now. But she was so ready for it, she said, and he was shocked actually by the way, Nishamya tadvachaha vipraha vimanah paryatapyata aho adharma samahanat nadya me samupasthitaha. She says, O Kashyapa Bhagavan, bless me, because Indra is the sole cause that I have lost my 2 children. Bless me that I have a son who could kill Indra. Look at it. Poor Indra, no wonder why he is so terrified. Everybody wants to kill him. Nothing, to hurt him, to give him pain or misery. Direct, uda lalo. Now Kashyapa says, what kind of vara are you asking? But anyway, since I have promised, I'll tell you a vrata. Putraste bhavita bhadre indraha deva bandhava samvatsaram vratamidam. This vratam, if you do it for 1 year period of time, without breaking my rules and regulations stipulated for this vrata, then that son born would be the killer of Indra. If you commit even one mistake, he will become friends with Indra. It was a tricky proposition. He said, you give your best shot, I'll try mine. Because she was so bent upon taking a revenge from Indra. So the kinds of list that Kashyapa ji says, Bapre, nobody in your mind or with your speech or with your action should be ever hurt by you. You should not use a cuss word or you should not curse somebody. You should never say untruth. You should never say partial truth. Whenever you speak, it should be complete truth. You should never cut your nails or your, no French nails and manicure, pedicure, no grooming. You have to have a strict tapascharya. Never eat somebody's leftovers. No mamsa bhakshana. And without washing your face, doing the achamana and washing your hands and legs, do not sleep at night. when you go out, you should not wear any alankara. You should cover yourself with the vastra whenever you go. It's not a normal thing, it is something specific to this. Then he says, you should always place your head either on the west or the northern direction while you are sleeping. Whenever you sleep, you should sleep savastra, with all proper clothing. And he goes on with a huge list of things of do's and don'ts. More don'ts than do's. The moment she heard the entire list and the whole process, she says, Badham, now that you have told this entire story, I am willing to go through it. Now as Diti commenced her vrata dharana with the permission of her husband, Narayana, Naradji goes to Indraloka. Indra, how can you afford to sit enjoying all these luxuries? He said, Bhagavan, kya hua? What happened? He said, there is somebody who is doing this tapascharya to give birth to a son. Again to kill me? Seems like you are a very famous one, in demand to be killed. Wanted dead, not alive. Not dead or alive. Wanted dead and not alive. So she started doing the vrata. Now Indra, what did he do? Kapata Vesha Dharaniya. He took a disguise as a Vatu and joined the same ashram where Diti was observing her vrata to help her as a handyman. So his job was to get all the flowers, fruits, kanda, moola, phala, then the samidha for the process that was explained, then the grass, then the comfort that whatever was required in the ashram, everything, he was the gopher. Kim karaha. And he was waiting for that opportune moment that she commits some mistake. For almost a year, just like few days left to complete a year, she had become such frail because of all the regulations that were laid down, that she was looking so thin and so famished. And when you are on lot of upavasa, either your mati doesn't work good or it is always in an agitated mode. So her mati was not working. And what she did, one night she was so tired, she slept without cleansing her mouth, washing her hands and feet, she slept. Indra, mauka mila. I was waiting for this opportunity. Probably Naradji did not convey the complete message, or Indra was fear stricken that what if the son is born and this be some kind of a regulation which he even missed is okay, and that kid who is born will still be my killer. So with his yoga shakti he entered the garbha of Diti. He entered into Diti's garbha, and that pinda, that garbha pinda that was there, he was so fear struck, he took his khadga, the sword, and before he could realize, he had already cut that pinda into 7 parts. And to his surprise, each one of the 7 parts became alive. Because of the vrata bala, each pinda became a separate jiva. Now again he was furthermore afraid that I thought there were one that I had to handle, now 7, and he further sliced them, each one into another 7 pieces. So totally how many? 49 pieces. By the time he had done the 49th piece, It was time for delivery and all 50 got delivered. Along with Indra. Don't look at me, 50, who 50? Indra was inside and Indra was also delivered. And then she was like, oh my God, I was expecting one son. There are 50 of you. Then Indra says, couple of days earlier, you had missed this vrata because you had not done this thing. So these sons will now be considered as Deva, though born out of Diti. They are actually Daitya. But because they were born along with Indra, they are called Sahodara. You know the word Sahodara? Saha Udara. Udara means stomach. The ones who have shared the same space. You share the same space in your dorms and you become good buddies. Now imagine, they shared the same womb and they are now brothers. They said, mother, thanks for your effort, but now these 49 will not be my killers, but I will provide them as the Devatas in the Swargaloka. These 49 born out of Diti and Kashyapa, because of the confusion of Indra, normally it was one to be born, now there are 49 of them, are called Marut Ganas. These 49 are the ones which, when we breathe in the air, Marut, the air that we breathe in, divides itself into 49 different categories of physiological activities that it does. Of these, the 5 which are famous are Prana, Apana, Udana, Vyana and Samana. These are the 5 that are famous. In total they are 49. So thus they become the aid for Indra in the Indraloka. Now in between explaining this entire story, there is a mention of Bali. There is a lineage of Diti that is mentioned. That Diti also had other sons, and there was this Bali who was born, and to Bali there was Banasura who was born, and Banasura became such a great devotee of Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva gave him the Ganapatya. Ganapatya, he became the leaders of the Ganas, and he is the one who protects Kailasha. He is the one who protects it. He is Banasura. Then his son, so that lineage continues. So here Shukadevji says that entire lineage of great devotees born in the Asura family, he said, we will discuss in the 8th canto. We are still in the 6th one, right? So we will discuss in the 8th canto. So he has already laid down seeds for 7th and 8th. So thus comes to end this beautiful Vrittanta of Bhagavata in its 6th canto, 6th segment. Now if there is a 19th chapter, I am not going into detail into that 19th chapter, because this Parikshit asks, O Shukadevji, I am interested in knowing what that vrata that was given by Kashyapa to Diti. This is a very powerful one, but I am not going into it, because if you are interested, then you can look into this 19th chapter of 6th canto as to that 1 year vrata which will yield the desired child, and it is called Pumsavana vrata. Now this Pumsavana vrata is not something that I am interested in going in detail. It is mentioned in this 19th chapter, so I am not going into it. So thus we conclude this canto of Bhagavata. With Lord's grace, we completed till the 6th canto. Now from here on, how does it go? Hari Ichha. wherever it is, however it is, we will see it. There are many more cantos to complete, but let's see what takes action in next month, depending on which we will announce the next course of action. If everything works out well, maybe have a yajna from there, video broadcasted. Then I'm sure it doesn't matter how many people are there then, right? मैं बात करता रहूँगा. Narayana. This entire canto talks about the mantra, then the nama smarana and the rupa dhyana of the Lord and the greatness of this. So even if you did not get the entire gist of who, what, where, when, how, does not matter. The message of this canto is simple. Take the name of the Lord. Even mechanical, start mechanically also, but take the name of the Lord. That is the message. Shri Krishna. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So you can come one by one, offer your Guru Dakshina and take this beautiful bookmark